Sure, you remember that day? You know, the day we set out on this whole adventure? Yeah, how could I forget? It's unforgettable, alright? All that stuff happened all at once. No one could have predicted it. It makes me wonder though, what if I'd already figured out the Monada before then? Could have been very different, mate. I know what happened, but so many people have gone through so much pain. I wish I could have prevented it all. I know how you feel, but what of all the negativity? I can't help it. Think of all the people we lost. Too many, if you ask me. What can you do? It's not like me to use the words like destiny and fate, but some things are just meant to be. Can't be helped. Yeah, but that doesn't stop me wishing things had been different. Sure, you remember the promise we made that day? About destroying all the Mechon stuff? Yeah, I remember. And afterwards I realised how wrong we were. Yeah, me too. At the time, all I could think about was making those Mechon pay. Turns out we were on the same side. We all lost something or someone worth fighting for. Just like Egil. I'm glad we figured that out in the end. We did the right thing. We sure did. You know what else I think? I think we should stop making promises we don't intend to keep. It definitely couldn't hurt. And so we saw a soldier on. You and me. Saving the world. That's how it started, and my god, that's how things are gonna end. And we talked about this briefly before, in a couple of episodes ago, how Ryan and Shulk originally in the story were meant to be like polar opposites at the very end of the game. Ryan taking on the Mechanists and Shulk taking on the Bionists, and them becoming enemies. I like how it's changed. Best friends till the end. You know what? It's a JRPG, it's corny, but how else would you expect it to go? On that corny note though, hey everyone, what's going on? And welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. In the last episode, we finished up everything in Frontier Village and left it a better place for the Nopod to live. Now that they're at peace, we are going to go on to a nice little transition. Because it just went into nighttime. We are going to be doing something special this episode. The Heart to Heart talked about how things happen between us and Egil, and how Egil's not around after Mechanists' core and whatnot. Fun fact, Egil being gone is not the only big change that's happened throughout the world of a Bionis. As we've shown previously, Tephra Cave has opened, and that brings a myriad of challenges. High-leveled enemies, more enemies, and just bigger challenges overall. And of course, the telepathy being out. Remember when Egil initially struck the Bionis? It pretty much had the rude awakening for not only the people living there, but also the creatures living there. This is one of the things that we are going to tackle today in this episode. So, Xenoblade veterans would know that there is certain things that happen in Mechanists' core. You talk about things going bump in the night. Well, this is akin to that. Back here, where Zazadan used to hide out, we always thought that these bullets were the worst of our problems. However, if you notice the red mark wandering on your screen right now, a new threat has appeared. These are what's generally known as the super bosses of Xenoblade Chronicles. There are 5, technically 6 in total, but we'll get to that technicality beforehand. Us taking on this bad boy is what we're going to be tackling today. However...
Oh no, this does not bode well.
Ryan, not only are you facing the wrong way and disappearing like magic, in our case. First off, we are going to be doing something which we have not shown in a series thus far, because I don't think it's warranted. Here, throughout the game and as story goes on, you're pretty much going to be okay if you have a decent setup. There's no need to be technical, there's no need to be very specific. You are allowed to free roam, and the game, narrative-wise, gives you a lot of breathing room and a lot of flexibility. However, these super bosses have gimmicks to them, each of their own. So, we figured it'd be good to go over our current setup and just see what you have. So, for a start, I'm having Dunban at the front, Charlotte second, and Shulk third. Normally, the second and third options don't really matter. However, in some cases, some AI does get priority depending on what position they're in. But that doesn't matter in this particular one. I will say straightforward, you are not going to need any, and I mean any, ether protection of any way, shape or form.
And you could kind of just forget about art set days because the super bosses are immune to days.
Yep, each one is. So, for starters, Dunban is level 88 with these stats currently. We have the equipment which we have here. The appearances don't matter. Again, the appearance is just is simply cosmetic. It's these things you have to do.
You can fight them naked if you want.
Yes. Now, I will say straight off, this is not the ideal or the specific setup you need. This is just simply a slapdash, a good example of things you might want. Of course, you're going to need a lot of agility pluses. The levels you've seen, they are high, very high. Physical protects if you've got them. For Dunban, in this fight we are going to be using a few auras, so having backup healing is really good. Haste for when things get dicey, and Topple Plus. The Topple Plus is not outright needed, but it is a nice little boost. Trust me, you'll see why in a little bit. And for the first time in, well, a long time, night visions are going to be your best friend. We'll get into that really soon. But again, this is our setup for Dunban. Not ideal, just something. It's a loose example of what you can look forward to. Charla, she is going to be the aggro magnet here. She is going to be taking a lot of brunt of the hits. So much so, heat sink. She's not going to get she's not going to need to cool down. She's got a lot of jobs to do. HP up to increase her longevity. Debuff resists because of something which we can talk about in the fight, and unbeatables. You are going to need unbeatables for what's going to come up. It's not going to be a complete save, but still, you'll be okay. Shulk-wise, not too far off from Dunban. Physical protects, agilities, night visions. You'll notice Charla has not got any night visions. That's simply because she is not going to be the damage dealer. That's going to be up to Shulk and Dunban.
And night vision only boosts physical attack accuracy, not ether attack.
Yeah, so if you're thinking it could be good for Melia or Ricky, unfortunately no. But yeah, double attack just so Shogu can get a few shots in for the Monado, and agility and physical protects up.
And I will also say this, the skills are important as well. In Shulk's, I think, bravery skill branch? Or pessimism. It's either one of those, but he gets a skill which enables him to max out his talent gauge in vision, and that is a lifesaver with the super bosses.
Yep, sure. The glorious future in bravery. We're going for we're on pessimism right now. Not that it matters, but this is just the bog standard boost that we have here.
You want to make sure to link glorious future as well to the other characters.
Yeah, which you can do in any way you like. Apart from that, Dunban's really doesn't have anything of note. But still, though, it's there in case you want it. Now for arts, we've switched Dunban's arts around. She's going to be mostly auras and mostly physicals. I will say the party gauge is also going to be your best friend in a myriad of ways. So much so that I have Dunban in combo mode. Gale Slash with Electric Gutbuster, Steel Strike, or Worldly Slash. Worldly Slash is going to be a very good art because it can lower defenses in tandem. Soaring Tempest and an AoE attack can be useful in a small minor detail way, but it's better explained in the fight itself. But yeah, mostly Dunban is going to be offense, combos, and staying alive. Sharla is going to be our healer and our buffer. Drive Boost to make sure her healing arts come as commonly as possible. Drive Boost, yep, sure, and Cure Round, just make sure that we get a bit of immunity from whatever comes. Headshot, as we said before, Daze does nothing to the super bosses. I'm still keeping Headshot here because it's Charlotte's high powering attacks, and during a chain attack, it can be a nice combo attack piece. So that's the reason why I'm keeping on there. Horror Bullet is exclusively for Dunban, so in case it needs something to be upgraded. Shulk, Battle Soul is still staying off. Shulk is the only one on art palettes in which we haven't changed. However, something that I would heavily recommend, something that we have not done, but I still want to make a point. The super bosses have attacks, talent art rather, which are level 10. Unless you have shield maxed out, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit by them.
We can't yet, so we're gonna have to brute force it.
So, if anything, having shield maxed out is gonna help you in not just this fight, but every super boss fight. We'll have that prepared later on in this series. But with that said, we're ready to rumble. We're ready to go. We're ready to die. I will say, do not feel bad if you die. Hey, buddy, buddy. I was going to have a bit of a gravitas intro, but okay, fine. Up yours, Bunnet. In your little Bunnet hole. Anyway, a minor detail before fighting. These things, these little bunny ears, are very useful in some ways. Keep them in mind and have AoE attacks at the ready.
And if you're going to use night visions, make sure that it stays night as long as possible.
Yep. So much so that I'm going to change time just to get every single minute I can out of it. But with that said, super boss fight, go! Despotic Arsene. For many people, the first of the super bosses you are going to encounter. So, let's get on with it and let's see what he has got.
And since you're doing a super boss fight, I'm going to read off the arts so that takes the pressure off of you.
Thank you.
He has Emperor Blow, which is a physical attack that hits once and causes strength down. Imperial Sobat, which, again, he has all physical attacks. It hits in the frontal arc. It flicks bleed and knockback. He has Imperial Upper, which is just a single physical attack. It causes blow down. And his biggest attack is his Talon Art, Emperor Combo, which hits over the damage cap, so Jaws of Death will not work. You have to have shield maxed out. And Imperial Might, which is a status effect on himself, which gives him haste. So he becomes even speedier than he normally is. And when he reaches 30% of his total HP, which is nearly 500,000, he will enter an awakening state. So yeah, he's a speedy little bugger.
Yep, and as I said before, he has no ether attacks to speak of. So if you want to rock heavy with offense, go for it, because odds are you're probably going to need it. Also, the minor little detail I have about the Bunnias. Try and get as many into the fight as you can, because they are easy kills, and much like the Ponios near the territorial Rotbart, they can add as party gauge boosts for when they die. So it definitely helps. There are many things in the environment that you can use to your advantage for the timing of the day, the enemies nearby, as well as the hill itself. Because if you are able to go up to the top of that cliff and go down, it can delay his attacks. So you have a little bit of time for an art recharge in case you need something being charged up.
And something to also keep in mind is night vision. It maxes out at 50%, so you're not going to hit every single time. Yeah. Especially with this speedy little twit.
This is the fastest of the super bosses. Each one of them specializes in very specific stats or gimmicks. But we'll get into that when we see the others. But to show it, you're not messing around. Although, I will say, you can beat enemies at this level, if not lower. So, experiment, test your skills, and have fun. For us, we'll see you guys at the very end of this fight, in case you need something. Also, one last thing. It can be an advantage if you are such lower level, because the more you miss, the better chance you have to get those prompts, in which you can get party gauge. And a disadvantage, you can turn it into an advantage. So, with that guys, we'll see you at the very end of this fight. In one way or another.
And speed and armor are going to be your best friends, although if speed's too low leveled, it's not going to give you a high chance every time. And as you see, even if you miss, it's not a bad thing because you get a burst affinity and it boosts the party gauge up quite a lot. So missing isn't actually all too bad in the grand scheme of things.
Something which you could also do is just spam happy if you're Ricky. It's not ideal way to do it, but hey, many chain attacks is not something that a lot of people are gonna argue with. I know I wouldn't. You could have my talent art, you bastard! You could have Blossom Dance! Or not! Never mind! Dunban will kill you! Dunban will take you down! No! Kick him in the face! No!
Yeah, that bleed is nasty.
Yeah. That was a debuff that we were referring to. You can get Dunban out of it with using one of his auras, or having Charlotte having her debuff for resists. But Dunban will strike again. Dunban will not give up. Dunban will kill you! Kick him in the face! Yes!
Beating the odds.
Beating the odds, in case you did not know, that is beating an enemy that is high above your pay grade and coming out smelling like roses.
I think 20 levels ahead.
Yep, and guess what? We did. We're not even at level 90, and we still kicked his ass. And guess what? You can beat this guy if you want to be at level 70. But for the sake of your guys' time, we chose not to do it. However, we did it. Dunban beat up a rabbit. That's a badass, I don't know what is. Anyway though, let's get our goods. And for each super boss, I'm gonna save, cause I want this to be. I want to try and get lucky. Do we get lucky on the first attempt? We don't. However, we get a good amount of stuff here. Glory armor, one of the best armor sets in the game. Look at that debuff resist straight away. 75% and bonus driver. If you want to max out levels and get maximum APs, the bonus sets in the super bosses, they are godsends. Also, this particular super boss is the only enemy in the entire game that drops critical up crystals. So, if you're a heavy player who focuses on critical hits, this guy is not only the best grinding spot, it's also your only grinding spot.
Yeah, and he drops Burninate, Slit Edge, Demon Slayer, and Gale Slash. And when it comes to Slit Edge, it's either this guy or Indomitable Dalton. Pick your poison.
Yep. And I will say, this is another instance of an enemy having not one but two rare drops. Thanks, Charlotte. Just cut into me. Why not you? Okay. The Scentwood is his common rare drop. I know that's an oxymoron. But trust me, the other rare drop he has, oh dude, you want to get. It's very worth your time for anyone who knows. And we'll make it clear why once we get around to it. But with that said, guys, one super boss down and 5 more to go. Technically 4, but again, we'll get into that. But hey guys, I hope this has been entertaining, and in some ways I hope it's been informative. And again, this is not the ideal way to take it down. This method and this setup was very slapdash, but it's just a very rough idea in how to deal with that super boss. We'll be doing more, and we will be taking on all 6 super bosses in this playthrough.
Is it 4 or 5 or 6?
Technically 6, but for most players it's only 5.
I think it's 5. I think it's 4 definitely, but possibly 5.
Am I thinking of one more? I might be. It's either 4 or 5, guys. I can't math. I cannot math today. But with that said, guys, if you like this video, be sure to like it. If you dislike it and you're a pain in the Arsene, well then by all means dislike it. Go for it. But I welcome you, and I think you're awesome either way. But if you want to subscribe to see more super boss beatdowns, then be sure to subscribe. And if you want to, let me know how you guys find these things. What are your setup ideas? I'd love to hear it. I'd love hearing different techniques and how to take on different enemies in this game. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And we'll end this episode the same way we ended last episode.
Killing Ignis.
For absolutely no reason whatsoever, except it's just funny. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time.